My name is Mandy. I had an unnerving experience that descended into nightmare back in summer of 2002. It was in my hometown of Independence, Kentucky. I had just finished my first year of high school, though I no longer live there today. I do often visit my parents who still live there in the same house I was raised in. And it's unfortunate that whenever I do visit, I am reminded of a traumatic event that happened that summer. It was around 11 p.m. that night. I was with my friends Adam and Lindsay. None of us drove at the time. Adam was months away from being able to, but at the time still needed his parents or someone over 18 to be present as he only had his permit. We liked to take long walks around town, especially at night. We were sort of lured by creepy places. Adam, I can say with confidence, was the leader of our little close group. His best bud and our good friend Josh was almost always with us, but this particular night he was busy, so it was just the three of us. We were walking down Cody Road and chatting of various high school gossip. I also remember well at this time Adam was super excited about a new cell phone he got, which basically no one had at the time. He was messing around with different ringtones as Lindsay and I were chatting. We started approaching an old train bridge that passed above the road. It's old looking and really rusted, but at the time it was still in operation. I haven't been there enough recently to tell if it is today, but I don't see why it wouldn't be. As we got closer to the bridge, Adam grabbed out a small flashlight he always had when we went on little outdoor adventures. He put it up to illuminate his face like you'd imagine when someone telling a campfire story and mumbling some BS trying to freak us out. Lindsay and I just laughed it off as nothing. Continuing and now just had passing under the bridge, Adam said we should chill there for a moment. There's a small river that flows below just under the bridge along the side of the road. The place is no lie a bit eerie at night. It's also very dark. It was late, so there weren't many cars passing. I'd say one car would pass every 5 minutes or so. Lindsay and I closely followed Adam as he pointed his light and creepy dark foliage along the riverside. "Want to go take a swim?" asked Adam. "Yeah, you first, buddy," Lindsay replied. We all chuckled a bit. Adam then shifted the light towards the roof of the train bridge. He looked at Lindsay and I and said, "I dare you guys to go up there." Adam again joking with us. "Sure, $5 and I'll go up there and back down," was my response. I want to remind you that we were 14 and these were the odd things we would do to relieve our boredom at the time. Adam looked at me with a grin on his face, then looked up to the tracks, then back at me as he reached into his short pockets. He pulled out some various crinkled cash. He searched through it, found a $5, and held it up. "Okay, $5, he said, laughing. Lindsay looked at me, then over at Adam and said in a playful but demanding manner, "What the fuck? Give me $5 too." "Okay, $10 for you guys. Go up on the tracks and I'll see if I can take a photo with this phone." I just thought there was no way he'd be able to get any type of clear picture, as those older phones didn't have very advanced cameras, and it was nearly pitch black outside. "All right, but you gotta give us your flashlight because I can't see anything," I said. Adam agreed, and handed his flashlight to me. Lindsay and I started making our way up to the tracks. There was a 10-foot gravelly slope leading up. At the top and before proceeding above the road, we both instinctively listened and looked to make sure there wasn't any sign of train coming. Seems good. We're only walking like 20 feet down the track to be above the road, so there wasn't any real danger. I shined the flashlight on the ground in front of us so Lindsay and I could see where we were stepping. I heard Adam yelling, "Be careful," from the road below. Lindsay and I, giggling, made our way over to the middle of the bridge. "How are you doing?" I asked Lindsay. "Yeah, I'm okay. Just really frickin' dark up here." As we drew near the middle, Adam shouted something that both Lindsay and I didn't quite catch. "I can't hear you, Adam," I shouted back. I looked down to Adam. He was staring at us. From what I could make out, he had a very concerned look on his face. "Who the hell was that?" Adam shouted. I gave off a slight giggle as I looked over at Lindsay. Lindsay looked at me with a pause, stare, and smile. "He is fucking with us," she said. We both looked back over at Adam, who was pacing around a little, moving his head and body back and forth as if he was trying to get a better look around us. "I swore, I just saw someone up there behind you guys," Adam shouted. "Shut the fuck up, Adam," Lindsay shouted back. Just as she said that, I got this really strange cold shiver up my body, followed by a faint raspy voice murmuring something I couldn't quite make out. I froze. It sounded like someone just had said something right behind us. I looked to Lindsay. "Did you just fucking hear that, Mandy?" she asked concernedly. I gulped, paused for a moment, but before I could answer, she said, "Oh my god, I'm fucking out." In a panic, we quickly made our way back down to Adam. I remember us repeating "holy shit" as we wanted to get to Adam as soon as possible. Lindsay, I could see, was already in tears. I don't really know what I heard, but it sounded like a woman with a weak and raspy voice. I just knew I had to not be there. "Dude, for real, who was that?" Adam yelled as we were running down. "I don't fucking know, Adam," Lindsay shouted in a cry. Lindsay was freaking out. I was also in a panic, but Lindsay was concerning me and making me panic more. As we got down near Adam and while gathering our breath for a moment, Adam had focused his attention up towards the track while asking what happened. "What did you see, Adam?" I asked. "I'm not sure. I thought a person, but the figure was pretty shadowy. I swear I'm not trying to freak you out. I really saw something, guys." Normally I think both Lindsay and I would laugh it off and say that's BS, but the fact that we both had heard a voice behind us doesn't make me question Adam much. Now I just want to pause a moment to explain that I heard stories about ghost sightings around this place. I never really thought much about it and always laughed and brushed it aside. People refer to the ghost by the name Pigface, a woman who had rumored died here at this spot in a tragic way. How? No one really knows. There's different theories, but I always just regarded them as rumors and folklore. We walked past this area a fair amount, and over time you just don't really think about it anymore. We all knew without having to tell each other what and who we were thinking about at this moment. "Did you guys see anything?" Adam looked at us and asked. Lindsay, I just remembered, looked at me with the most terrified looking face, waiting for me to respond. I then replied. We both heard a really creepy voice, like it was right behind us. Adam again just shifted his attention to the top of that bridge. His mouth hung open and dumbfounded. He looked concerned, but curious, and I was thinking I just want to leave. "I want to get the fuck out of here, guys. Let's go, please," cried Lindsay. I didn't contest her. I also wanted to leave. Adam, on the other hand, always being the adventurous one, and the reason why we're chilling here in the first place, was more curious and wanted to investigate. "No, Lindsay and I just want to leave," I demanded to Adam. Adam looked at us and laughed, and just before I saw he was about to say something, we all heard the most terrifying thing I've ever heard to this day. A faint but wretched blood-curdling scream, resonating from the tracks above. It shook me to my core. I was already so tense from what previously just happened. Now I'm at a 10 on how freaked out I am. The scream lasted about 2 seconds and then immediately stopped. The scream sounded like a woman's scream. Maybe Pigface's scream. At least that's the first thing that came to my mind. Lindsay didn't hesitate. She immediately started running up the hill away from the bridge. Adam and I quickly joined. We kept yelling profanities as we ran up the street in a panic. My heart was racing at 1,000,000 beats per second. Then again, the scream. That same petrifying scream. This time, though more faint, was no less terrifying. That did it in. I was now in tears as I felt I've had stepped into some horror movie or nightmare. My only concern was to run and remove myself from this situation. In the distance, the headlights of a car appeared. A sense of relief washed over me. We all then stopped running and started to catch our breath. At this point, we were about 100 yards away from the bridge, and the car coming from the opposite way was starting to approach. Our profanities and fear shifted to laughing and relief. We waved to the car, laughing as the car passed. "Have fun with Pigface," Adam shouted while laughing. "That was fucking crazy," I said. Even though I felt a lot better, in the back of my mind, I was freaked out by the idea of hearing that scream again. "Let's get out of here," we said without being said. We made our way back to Adam's place where we had planned to meet up with a couple of others. We were discussing about what we just had experienced and how we're going to tell this to our friends. It wasn't very easy to do that as our friends were convinced that we were just making it up. Even as I tell this now, I'm sure some listening may question this story, but it's true. Because of that, I struggle with this memory. I thought a lot about what we had all heard that night and what Adam claimed he had seen, and I'm dumbfounded by it. The trauma of that night makes it difficult for me to pass under that bridge at Cody Road without feeling a strong sense of tension. Adam, Lindsay, and I haven't had any other odd experiences from that place since. It is something that we occasionally do bring up in conversation or gatherings. Though we laugh about it more today, I can't help but feel a deep, disturbing sense of something otherworldly trying to have made some connection with me. It will be something I'll always have to live with and accept.